Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today I'm going to be reviewing Skylia Prophecy. Skylia Prophecy is developed by Seven Raven Studios and published by Total Console. It is released on April 16th of 2021 for $6.99, and it is a Metroidvania-style platformer where you play as a young girl, and you need to progress through the game in order to redeem yourself, essentially by using a sword from at least at the beginning of the game, and then getting other power-ups and things in order to make the game a little bit, you know, different ways of killing enemies and getting through the levels. Overall, the game itself is kind of bland. It's very similar to, and actually kind of not as good as a lot of other Metroidvania style games. It's a little simpler than a lot of them, but it is also a lot harder than the other ones. And I don't like to give, take off points from a game for being difficult, because I think that a lot of companies are too giving when it comes to like the difficulty of the game. However, this game does seem unnecessarily difficult in some situations, because in this particular game, for instance, health really does matter, because if you die, it's game over. Um, and so you need to, conserve that health a lot. And there's a lot of situations where it's almost impossible to like avoid getting hit. To the point where there's a couple enemies early in the game where you're going to have to like hit them with short range attacks, but they're a long range distance, and it's almost impossible to avoid getting hit by them once in order to get close enough to them to do attacks. Now, I will point out that game over. As long as you get checkpoints, you can get back to those areas within a decent amount of time. But it is somewhat annoying to dive to the same enemy over and over when it takes you a few minutes to get back to it. Um, especially when it's not really seemingly in your control in some situations. So it's definitely important to mind those checkpoints so that you can use those fluidly. I just feel like the game is unnecessary when it comes to the way that that's working in this particular game. Um, I will say that the quality of the game itself is just a little bit below what I would normally expect from a Metroidvania game. I mean, the graphics are fine, but there's some misses when it comes to the hitboxes and things of nature. A lot of times I got hit even though I didn't even feel like I was getting hit, or I didn't see it on screen really. And then there was other times where stuff went through me and I didn't get hit. And I wasn't exactly certain what the differences were as to why those things were occurring, but that's just something. It's like it doesn't immediately clear that everything that happens on screen as you see it is actually what is happening in the background of the game. So stuff like that really is kind of frustrating to play with overall. The platforming in the game is actually not too bad, though. The game itself is pretty easy to play when it comes to the platforming itself. It's just a lot of the combat issues have issues. So, um, overall, I'm going to give the game a 5 out of 10. It's just not very fun because it's uh, nothing you haven't seen before, and it seems to lack a lot of imagination. And some of the stuff seems like it's just kind of thrown together and doesn't even fit together. The story is okay. That's probably one of the more redeeming qualities, because the story is interesting enough that you might be interested in it. But overall, the gameplay lacks and kind of also limits what it could potentially have been from that perspective. So overall, I don't necessarily not recommend it, but I also don't really recommend it because it's just not that good compared to other games that are similar to it that are a lot better. Uh, it is an easy achievement game, so you can complete this game in under an hour if you just go for the achievements with a decent guide. It took me about an hour and a half without a guide, so that would just to give you an idea about the achievements. And I will point out that the game itself is a lot longer than what the achievements give, because the achievements are only for the first area of the game. So after playing this next couple areas past the achievements, that's where I kind of came up to the point where the story is probably the one redeeming quality of the game itself. So that's pretty much all I have for this one. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, and if you do pick it up, let us know what you think, and have a nice day.